What brings you here? What brings you here to toxic relationship recovery? Likely it's a crossroads for you that you have kind of felt your entire life that you have gifts, you have a special ability to be able to see people, to help people. You are called into these types of relationships where you end up trying to wield your power, change things, get people to pick you, choose you, see you're brilliant. You're the supporter. You're the one that gives all the help to everybody else. And you might do that through the work that you do. You could be running a big company. You could be trying to conquer the world. You could be a teacher trying to help all the children of the world. You could be a therapist. You could be a coach. You could be a shaman. You could be any of the number of things that separates you and sets you apart. And you've been on this journey a long time. You've done a lot of work. You have read a lot of self-help books. I know, me too. I've got a library that is, ooh, it's like, I'll show it to you someday. We'll do a little live in front of the library. Mhm. You can see the amount of freaking self-help books. It's kind of sad in a way. It's like, how broken do you need to be? You know what I mean? It's like, damn. And I felt really broken. So I had a lot of freaking books, right? And so what I mean by broken is you have this greatness inside of you. You have all these wonderful ideas you want to share, this magic you want to bring into the world, these beautiful relationships or partnerships that you want to create. But there's still a tether for you. There's still a block. There's still an inability for you to fully unleash all of your brilliance, all of your gifts, all of your talents. And the rootedness of that inability to be able to just let it fly. And by the way, when I mean unleash your gifts, there's a knowing in you that there's more. There's a knowing in you that there's more beyond just the current scenario that you're in. There's a divine dissatisfaction brewing inside of you, whether that be with your work that you're doing in the world, where you feel like, you know what, you're really called to do something deeper, something more meaningful, something greater, whether you're feeling that stuckness or stagnation in the relationship that you're currently in, where you feel like, man, you're craving a divine partnership where somebody supports you to the same level that you support them. You're in one-sided kind of unbalanced situations, or with all the healing that you've done and all the work that you've done, your trauma still keeps cropping up on you, and it crops up on you like breaks, where you'll get an idea in your mind. You'll be like, man, I'm going to go unleash my gifts, or I'm going to go start that YouTube channel, or I'm going to go share my message with the world, or I'm going to leave that toxic scenario. And all of a sudden the brakes come on. And the brakes are these beliefs that you have about your ability to make things happen in the world. And those brakes are rooted in toxic relationships. Relationships are the source of our trauma. All trauma happens in some kind of a relationship container. And actually, I call that the toxic relationship unholy trinity. So let's get up on the board here. Now, if you're listening to this as a podcast, I'm going to talk it out for you so you don't have to worry. You're not going to miss a thing. But if you are interested in watching along with the visual aids, because I'm a teacher at my core, I like to like draw things out and show diagrams and things like that. And so if you're at all interested in that and you're on the podcast, head on over to YouTube, where you can do toxic relationship recovery with Heidi Rain, and you can watch this all happening, going down. And it's good to listen and to watch, right? And to do kind of a double duty. And if you want to hear it more than once, maybe you listen to the podcast and then you watch the video as well. But we're going to dive right into it. So I'm Heidi Rain, by the way. If you're new here, I just want to take a minute and say, welcome home. I am so glad that you found me. YouTube is a really big place. Podcast world is a really big place. But here's what I know for sure. This is a divine appointment. If you have found me, if you have come here, then this is for you. There is absolutely no two ways about it. This message is for you. Um, Likely you and I are on a similar path. Maybe came from a destructive kind of upbringing. Maybe you can relate to that. Maybe you came from some kind of a shit show, shall we say? But you wouldn't call it that, you call yourself an escaper, you grew up in this toxic or dysfunctional environment, but you're the one that got out, you're the smart one of the crew. Um, but like I said, likely it's still haunting you. And even though, you want to be as successful as you can be and you want to be fully unleashed, this trauma continues to tether you and restrict you and restrain you from being able to be your fullest, most authentic, divine, coolest, unleashiest version of yourself. That is like wait, the world is waiting for. And now's the time, by the way, in case you were wondering. Now is the time for you to unleash your brilliance to the world and to share your ideas, your perspectives, um, and you probably already went through some kind of coach training already. I bet you did. I bet you already decided you were going to be a coach a long time ago or a teacher or something like that. And you took some classes and you probably got certified a couple of times, but you have yet to really pull the divine trigger and unlock. And I think, I've always, well, not I've always, I think, God has been speaking to me my whole life. And one of the things that God showed me a long time ago is that I'm like a teacher to teachers. And I was like, "Oh, that's kinda cool," iron sharpens iron to be a teacher to teachers, and the gift that I can give, as a healer to healers or a teacher to teachers is the journey that I've been on to be able to get to this place, to even own the fact that I'm a teacher to teachers, or even stand in my own worth and know my own identity and be very clear about that, who I'm here to serve, how I serve them, and not have any ego hangups around saying these things out loud, my worthiness intact. It's taken me 51 years to get to this path where I can show up in front of you today fully as myself, fully activated, fully engaged, claiming my birthright of who I am and why I'm here. But it was not an easy road. It's taken me 51 years to get to this place of sacred reclamation where I'm able to stand here and teach and talk with you and share with you these gifts. Also, I used to be stingy about what I know. I used to want to just sell it in a course or a program. And I used to do a lot of videos that would say, well, here's the problem. And if you want the answer, come over into my coaching program and I'll give you the answer. And I've really been confronted in my ways, especially lately. My hoarding ways of my knowledge and information. And what I've been led to do and asked to do is to come to you and share with you step by step everything I know about how to heal from a toxic relationship. I'm going to give it to you for free. Everything I know. I'm gonna pour into you week by week on a Sunday. I'd like to release the videos at 11:11 AM or 1:11, something really spiritual, just to be obedient because what I know is and I get so annoyed with pop culture, it's like, "Don't I'm not gonna gatekeep this." It's so annoying, right? But essentially, that's what it is. It's like we have all this sacred knowledge and wisdom inside of us. All of us do. Mine comes because I ask questions, I ask questions about why are we here? Why do we suffer? How do we end suffering? I'm in constant communication and God shows me these answers and shows me in the form of my personality, which is teaching, sharing with you, delivering, and in my lack mentality in the past, I have been reluctant to pour it all out because I was thinking mistakenly that if I share everything I know and I teach you everything I know, then somehow I won't be divinely compensated, right? That I need to restrict my knowledge and that you pay for that information from me. But the truth is that that's an old paradigm. That's an old construct. And I'd love to be supported by you if you find this information useful. And there are ways to do that. You can hire me, I can come alongside of you, you can attend a retreat, you can deepen our relationship, we can work personally together. There's still all the ways, or you can just donate. You can click the button and donate to the cause here, or choose to like want to send a gift in the mail. I don't care what it is. If you feel the need to reciprocate, that's up to you. But my part is I'm gonna give without expectation because that's what I've been directed to do. So my next series of videos to you from now on is gonna be me pouring into you, giving you the answers, sharing with you my divine map of how I've overcome my trauma from toxic relationships. I'm going to share with you and reveal every single revelation, understanding, secret mystical knowledge, divine visitations, things that I've understood, my psychological background, the things I put together through my study. And what we're going to do is a psycho spiritual approach to healing from trauma. Now, who this is for and how you know that this is for you is because of the things I said at the beginning of this video, that you're stuck. You know there's more. You know that you're called to be a leader. You're called to be a teacher. You're called to be helpful in some capacity in the world. But right now, that help is poured into a container that does not appreciate, respect, or receive the knowledge that you have to share. Do you understand what I'm saying? Many of you are in relationships with people that you're attempting to pour all your wisdom into. You're attempting to help them, heal them, save them, fix them, do all the things. But for a little time out here, what needs to be recognized is everything you've been pouring into other people up until this point needs to be poured into you, all the help you're trying to give, all the wisdom you're trying to share. So, this is your sacred space to receive. Now, I know that's very hard for you because you're the teacher, you're the therapist, you're the psychologist, you're the expert, you're the healer, you're the shaman. I get that it is difficult for you to surrender because you want to feel like you know all the things and you have all the information. But you and I both know, because I've been there too, that at the end of the day, when nobody's looking, you secretly feel like you could be full of shit. I know that's true about you. That secretly at the end of the day, you silently worry that you're actually just a little freaking crazy, or you're just a little too broken, or you're a little too wounded, or nobody's really going to understand you, or nobody's really going to get you, and you feel resentful. I know that you've tried, started, and stopped a million times in sharing these gifts. Listen, what I'm saying to you is I see you because I am you. And now at 51 years, on the other side of that, self-talk, self-sabotage, self-sacrifice, all the things that we're going to talk about today, when we talk about your toxic relationship with yourself, I want you to start to feel like this is a sacred vault. This is a safe space where all of you can come and gather and feel seen and heard. You don't have to be the expert here. You don't have to have all the answers here. You don't have to be show me your bank accounts and your money and all your clients and how many people you've say, all your business models and shit like that. You don't have to show me any of that. You don't have to show me all the plaques you have. You don't have to show me how smart you are. I know. I already know you're brilliant. You're divine. You're unbelievably gifted, but you're stuck, and I want to help you get freed. Okay. My great calling is a liberator. My great calling is to excavate what's been buried. And we're going to take a deep dive together to figure out where you've been buried. Like you're this beautiful, I want you to start to picture yourself on this journey like a beautiful sacred tree, that you are a tree, a mystical tree that grows mystical, wonderful fruit that's meant to feed and feed and feed. and the never-ending supply of beauty and comfort and provision and protection. And the beautiful tree that grows in the woods is a tree of provision and protection. It offers shelter and it offers nourishment, and that's you. And it does it all on its own from within. It has everything it needs within it to accomplish all these things. But there are some problems with us, and our problems are our weeds, our ideas, our beliefs, our obstructions that we create that stand in the way of our path to divine work in the world, to be able to fully unleash. And now, by the way, your fully unleashed might not be my fully unleashed. You know, this happens to be my fully unleashed. Let me just show you if you're watching. This is me showing up today, fully unleashed. All right. So a mix of the psycho spiritual. I've got my goddess dress on. I've got my jewels, my gems, showing up as me. I've got my candelabra, my ominous candles, for the sacred mysteries. I've got my room set up, right, with all the things that I need. And then I got this old school fat ass marker that I'm going to teach with on this board back here because this is my hybrid of, how I do stuff. I don't know how magic is gonna unfold and how you show up in the world and how you're gonna unleash this gifts. I don't know. And I'm really super awesomely excited to find out how you are going to emerge from your cocoon, you beautiful butterfly, when we're done with this process. How long is this process gonna take? As long as it takes. All right. I don't know the answer to that question. You might come here to these videos on Sundays and you might have that answer and an epiphany, and you might have one session. You might go, holy shit, that's what I needed to know. I'm free. But you might need to keep coming back Sunday after Sunday and keep getting full. And that's great because I'll be here. I'll be here. So this is our first teaching. This is lesson one. And lesson one is on the toxic relationship trinity. This is going to be in three parts because there are three parts of toxic relationships that you and I are on a journey to uncover and to heal from. So we really have to understand the full scope of the toxic relationship model so that we know because if we don't understand the fullness of this toxic trinity, this toxic triad, then we're going to miss a really important part. So I want you to think about this as a as a triangle, as a trinity. And so this is the toxic relationship trinity. And it's a giant triangle. Okay? So now we have that. There are three sides to the triangle. The triangle is one of the strongest structures in history, right? I mean, the pyramids. Look at all the stuff we're discovering. Wow, isn't that cool? We're going to get some really good good information lately, I think, about what's going on under there. But if we miss one of these sides, if we just work on one of our aspects of our toxic relationship recovery, then the bottom falls out. We don't have the base, or if we leave ourselves susceptible, if we don't handle all three of these toxic relationship impacts, and we'll leave ourselves open. We'll think, well, I have my relationship with other people, but we still haven't held our relationship with ourselves. Let me show you the three key areas of toxic relationship recovery that you and I are going to be going on a journey together for the next several weeks. The first toxic relationship that you need to heal is the toxic relationship with yourself. Now, for a lot of people, and maybe even you, that's going to be like, no, 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 I love myself, honey. I love myself. I love myself. Okay, well, I'm not talking about that you love yourself and you take bubble baths and you take care of yourself and you go on hikes. I know you do all that. That's really cool. And I'm really proud of you. And that's amazing. But I'm talking about the toxic relationship with yourself that's hidden behind the scenes in the form of a self sabotage cycle. I'm talking about the relationship with yourself that has hidden self destructive things when you stop and start and you stay in shit that doesn't serve you anymore. That's what I'm talking about, not how great your hair is, how shiny your hair is, or how manicured your feet are. That is not self love, that's self care. So, the first relationship that we're going to examine together is the toxic relationship we have with self. Then we're going to move on to the second part of the toxic triad trinity, and we're going to go into the toxic relationships we have with others. Now, this is where it gets really juicy for most people, and this is where most people want to start. So we could start anywhere in the triad. Most people find it easier to start with others because it's like, ooh, I don't really want to like look within, but not you. You've been looking within forever. You've been- Look at your self-help library. Look at my self-help. We've been looking in forever, but there's a missing piece. It's like one of my gifts that I'm claiming. Remember, when we get whole and healthy, we start claiming our gifts, not out of an egoic place, but out of a gratitude grab, right? Like, oh my God, thank you so much for this gift. Well, one of my gifts is to be able to take a lot of complex ideas and pull from all these different places and resources and synthesize them down into one holy map, right? To take a really complex idea and boil it all the way down so that it's easy to comprehend, it's a system, it's understandable. Um, one of my gifts is being a genius in pattern recognition, right? Maybe you have that gift too, right? Gift of discernment, gift of pattern recognition, gift of being able to see. And so I'm able to like put things into systems. Anyway, now I'm starting to sound a little braggy. Am I being braggy? Yeah, I am a little bit. All right, let's get back to the let's get back to the teaching. Ego. Simmer down. Okay. So others, self. Now we're going to go through this. We're going to heal the relationship with ourself. I'm going to teach you all the tools. I'm going to guide you step by step. Today's an introduction of these toxic relationships. We're just covering self today. But then next week, we're going to get into the toxic relationship, maybe with others. And then eventually, even if you have those two things, well, great, I healed my toxic relationship with myself. Yes, score. And I healed my toxic relationship with others. Now I'm whole. Woohoo, I'm free, freedom, and I'm liberated and I'm unleashed. I'm doing not so fast. There is one last relationship that if we do not heal, will be in vain and you will get where you want to go, but not all the way home. And all the way home is a fully awakened woman or man, fully awakened, awakened to all of your spiritual gifts, awakened to all of your human gifts. And the place that we're aiming to arrive at is totally human, which is like messy and stupid and ridiculous and fun and playing and all this and fully divine. Totally human, fully divine. And that is the psycho-spiritual connection that makes us whole and healed. The final piece of the relationship trinity. And by the way, this is not just a toxic, it's also holy because it can be used for you or against you, as within anything. So when this is firing on all cylinders, it's going to work for you. The last piece is your relationship to God or the divine. And I'm going to tell you what, you're going to find your toxic relationship trauma in one of these three areas. So, how do you heal from toxic relationships? Is you look at it as a holistic perspective of where the toxic relationships are. The toxic relation, and you cannot miss one of these. You must do it in the Holy Trinity. You must do all three, or you're not going to fully heal. Okay. So, the relationship with self, the relationship with others, and the relationship with the divine. And the divine relationship is the base, but ironically, it's going to be the last thing we talk about, okay, on this journey. And that's the final step of integration. So the first step is to understand and take a look at how are you currently self-destructing or how are you currently having a toxic relationship with self? Now, I'm going to help you get started on this because I know that it can be a little bit difficult to go, well, how do I have a toxic relationship with myself? Well, and then you start launching into your behaviors. Well, I eat the wrong things. I don't exercise. You start telling me all the things. And that's fine and that's very good, but that's a very surface level understanding of how we're self-destructive, right? What I'm looking for is a deeper, and I'm always looking for a deeper explanation, a deeper understanding. And so now we're going to take a look at together, you and I, the roots of a self-destructive relationship with yourself, okay? So here are the ways that a toxic relationship with self manifests. The number one, and they're going to ways are going to be over here with self. Number one is I self reject. I self reject. What does it look like when you reject yourself? Let's just think about that for a minute. What does it look like when you reject yourself? For a lot of us, that's going to be the way that we have a really great idea and then we talk ourselves out of it, the way we talk to ourselves in general, period. I used to think for me that the voices in my head were other people's, and I would point to other people and I would say, man, they told me that I was stupid, or they told me that I was not good enough, or they told me that I wasn't, enough, or that's the voice I hear. But the truth is, where that voice stopped many years ago for you or for me, whether that was a toxic relationship with a parent or whatever, we picked up where that voice left off and we become the violator of ourselves. And we reject ourselves every single time we say something negative and terrible about who we are. And it can be as a joke, it can be self deprecating. And I'm not talking about having humility. Humility is recognizing that you're human. You can't escape humility if you're fully human, if you're totally human, right? Everybody poops, okay? We're all, everybody's holding in a fart some way today. I guarantee you, it's you today or somewhere with somebody else and you held in a fart. Okay, no matter how spiritual you are or how amazing you are, you held in a fart today. All right, now fully human. Okay, that is very different than I'm an asshole. I'm a jerk. I'm an idiot. I'm not good enough. Many of us are replaying these tapes. As soon as we can hold it together all day long, we can feel like we're on top of the world. And then as soon as we get into bed at night and the guard starts to go to sleep, the mental guard that like holds watch and helps us feel okay is starting to drift off, and that's when that voice kicks in for you at nighttime. It starts to ruminate on all the things you're not doing and all the stuff, right? So that's one thing, self-rejection. Another way that you might do that is you might look in the mirror and not love what you see. You might be like, "Holy shit, I'm so fat, I've got this cellulite, I got this or that," and you're striving, you're trying to look a certain way, you're trying to portray yourself in a certain way that doesn't align with your truest identity or who you are. You're rejecting who you are at your core in favor of presenting yourself outside in the world like somebody palatable, like somebody that's, gonna be likable, You're like, "What is everybody else like? What are people into?" Let me be that. Let me morph and bend myself so I can be that person. That is self-rejection. Another thing we do, another way we do this is self-abandonment. These are all self-abandonment. Self-abandonment, pretty easy to understand. It's whenever you don't show up for yourself. And it's very easy to project on everybody else. Well, you've abandoned me. But how are you abandoning you? Have you given up on dreams that are in your now just bear with me. This isn't easy, but for you, you're willing to look. Most people don't see because they're not willing to look, but that's not you. You're willing to look. So let's keep going, okay? How do you abandon yourself? What ideas have you held for yourself? What is the vision? Like, listen, what's your heart's desire? What's your heart's desire? As we walk through this work together, we're going to be talking a lot about connecting into your heart's desire, learning to see what that heart's desire is clearly, painting your North Star of where you're heading in your life, and also the Death Star, where you're unwilling to go anymore, right? From this moment moving forward. Another thing that we do, and this is probably one of the biggest ones I know for me to really rectify and heal from, is this self betrayal. Ooh, self betrayal. Self betrayal. When do we self betray? Every time we do something with our body that our mind and heart is not in alignment with. And I don't know about you, but on my journey of recovering from toxic, I have used my body in ways I have betrayed my body. I have walked into situations and known in my deepest intuition that it was not for me, and I toughed it the frick out. I stayed when I should have gone. My body was telling me I'd get the knowing and my intuitive gut, I'd get the hit. And you know what? Instead of following that, I talked myself out of it. I created confusion where there was clarity. Clarity lives in the body. The body is the compass. The body will tell you what's right for you, what's aligned, what's not right for you. And what we do is we get that gut feeling, we get that hit, we get that knowing. Have sex with me. I don't want to. Ooh, legs close up. Right? These things start to happen. Your body goes. Your vagina knows. It's like, ooh, don't do this, you know. But what we do is we go, well, you shouldn't think that way, and here's why, and you should be thinking this instead, and fuck off, body, and I'm gonna do what you know because you're fucked up and you don't know what you really want, and this guy's this, and it starts confusing the hell out of you. Toxic relationship recovery is learning again how to tap into that divine intuition that's been stolen from you because you've talked yourself out of it, and it's not anybody else's fault. When we assume 100% responsibility for our lives and everything in it, that's a power move. That's a freaking power move. When we're letting our destiny or our problems live in the laps of other people, that is when we have lost our power. Is when we say, "Well, you're the problem. You need to fix the problem so I can feel better. If you fix yourself, then I'll be okay." This is not the path to enlightenment. The path to enlightenment says, "I turn the lights on from the inside out." Okay? That's what we need to bear in mind. Another thing that we do is we self-neglect. How many times have you self-neglected? How many times have you self-neglected? You know you need to eat. You know you need to sleep. You know you need to rest. You know you need to walk. You know you need to take a vacation. You know you need to take a pause. You know you need to act. You know you need, but we neglect. Instead of serving ourselves a nourishing meal, we stand at the refrigerator and open the container of cold spaghetti and fucking lick it and suck it down and call it dinner. Instead of taking a long hot bath for ourselves and tending to our souls, we jump in a shower that's barely lukewarm and hurry up for 5 fucking minutes so we can go on to the next thing. When you heal your toxic relationship with yourself, you wake up and treat your body like a holy fucking temple. You wake up in the morning and you say to yourself, "How does my body wanna be draped? How does my body want to present itself? How do I want to feed this goddess within? How do I want to feed this energy that I how do I want to honor the sacred self?" And when you act from that place of total awakening, you are not eating food, you are giving an offering to the freaking divine. What are you going to feed her? Everything you feed her becomes sacred and holy. You don't let things come into her mind that don't nourish her. You don't watch things that create fear in you. You don't listen to people that make you afraid and fucking scared. Instead, you serve the divine and you nourish her instead of neglecting her. Let's review. Instead of rejecting yourself, when you heal a toxic relationship with yourself, rejection is off the table. You accept and love every single part of you, including the parts you don't like very much. That's the path to healing from toxic relationships. When you don't reject yourself, when you see yourself as the innocent child within, and when you fuck up or you make a mistake, you wrap your arms around the 7-year-old that lives inside of you and tell her it's all going to be okay. You scoop her up. You see a 7-year-old in a place that's not good for her, and instead of self-abandonment, you look at this woman in this relationship with this alcoholic who's drunk and berating her or hurting her or being destructive, and instead of abandoning her and telling her to just go in her room or go to Al-Anon so she can learn how to tolerate more bullshit, You walk into that room where that 7-year-old or that 10-year-old is, and you scoop her the fuck up and you get her out of there. You get her out of there because that's what she deserves. You pick her up and you hold her close to you and you say, I've got you, baby. Let's go. That's healing. Instead of betraying yourself, you learn how to have cultivate a sacred no and you wield it. Instead of betraying yourself, you call out the sacred, divine, feminine warrior within you and you take a stand and you cut the shit. I have a sword here that I love. I love collecting swords because I love to cut bullshit. I love to cut bullshit. I love it. So I take out my sword and I cut the bullshit. I cut everything away that's not for me anymore. No more self betrayal. No more self betrayal. No more self betrayal. No more self neglect. No more self neglect. Instead of just settling for scraps or whatever's left over, or whatever anybody wants. I nourish myself. I go on a hunt for what really is going to satiate me and fulfill me. Instead of neglecting myself and just and shoving a bottle of wine down my throat or some Oreos to trip me up, I give myself what I really need, which is a voice or a pedestal that I deserve to stand on, and I let myself stand on it and be worshipped for the awesome woman I am, instead of begging for fucking crumbs. This is the sacred path of reclamation. This is the holy path of ending the war within and aligning your whole entire being, your mind, your body, your spirit, your power, your love. It's like you're having a magic cauldron. You're creating, you're holding space for yourself so that you can stir in all the ingredients: self love, self care, relationship with other people, relationship with the divine. And when you come out and smoke lifts and it clears, you emerge like the phoenix rising from the ashes. You emerge into your radiant, fullest, most divine, sacred, fucking self. I want that for you. I'm going to be here every Sunday. I want you to be here too. And if you want to deepen our relationship or you want to learn more about meeting together or being in retreat together or holding space together or me witnessing you, then you can go over to HeidiRain.com and learn more about how we can connect. Or if this has blessed you and you want to give an offering and you want to give support, there are links on this channel to be able to do that, to donate. I love you. Take excellent care of you, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.